today. Hope you're going to enjoy this. And this is Orcs, who is joining me here.
Did you know I was one of the best players in the UK at one point? Except for I'm awful at the game.
Wow. That's a bit mean.
Speaking of awful at the game, we have got another... No, I'm joking. We've got EXCEL versus MISFITS coming up for you, the second game of the series. Now, EXCEL had some flashes in the pan in that particular game where it looked like they were kind of getting the ingredients ready to try and win out. MISFITS, however, they knew exactly how they wanted to play. They constantly pressured that side lane with special, constantly tore Rippy apart, and then punished those mispositions in the jungle.
And we talked about at the start of the game, how did MISFITS win? Special gets fed in LeBlanc. So what did EXCEL do? Force these unnecessary skirmishes that give them the opportunity to get fed, and look what happened, they ended up losing. I feel like there was no need to sort of go for those plays. They could have played a less proactive, more calculated game, and they would have come out ahead there. I think they just felt the pressure maybe from being on stage, and it got to their head, and they ended up just playing a bad game.
Remember, there is more than just the pressure of 4 champions on these guys. There is one remaining spot for the EU Masters left up to grabs. Enclave have already secured it. I mean, look, commiserations to Enclave. They did lose to Diablos, but they still have an EU Masters spot. There is still competition that lies beyond 4 champions for these guys, which starts next week, by the way. EXCEL, however, they were, for 90% of the entire 4 champions split, the team that was in the position for the EU Masters spot. And then right at the end, it was taken away from them by Enclave. If they lose this series, they lose their shot at EU Masters. They lose their shot to repeat what was a standout performance for them on a European stage in the first EU Masters as well.
I mean, that's the thing, is that they came first 2 splits ago, they came second last split. To come out here and fall third or fourth, that would be a devastating blow to them. And to miss out on EU Masters as well, just not the situation they want to be in.
And let's look at MISFITS. This is a team that frankly, all the hype that we gave them, especially as the UK contingent in the caster sort of booth, we said, this is the team that if anybody's going to perform out of the UK teams, it's going to be MISFITS. And then they colossally lost. I mean, they really did not have their best performances at the EU Masters stage. And now, they themselves are looking for redemption. They've got to obviously go on to beat Diablos as well. I mean, let's not overlook Diablos. They are a team that has come out of what seems like the depths of poor performance and have suddenly brought out a #1 seed knocking out series, and now look like they're poised in the finals to potentially be one of the favourites. So MISFITS is a story of redemption for them, and they'll want to show that they can go to the EU Masters and perform much better than they did previously.
I mean, I think both these teams definitely want to. EXCEL haven't had a great performance last split EU Masters, want to repeat that, but also MISFITS Academy are bearing the name of MISFITS, who unfortunately didn't manage to make it to the finals of the EU LCS, but still an LCS team. It puts a lot on your shoulders. Special actually spent this split in-house practicing with the LCS team, so that pressure has to be on the back. You know, I've come back from this great experience, I want to put the team on my back, and yes, he had a great performance in game 1, but can he repeat that?
So let's take a look at the bans coming out now. The Irelia ban, steadfast here for EXCEL. They're going to keep the Irelia ban. The Morgana there as well. Gragas and Ryze are the bans there, and Akali finally for EXCEL on blue side.
This is a big thing. EXCEL don't feel comfortable to pick up the Akali first pick. They're banning away from Special because they just don't feel confident in a skill matchup in the mid lane.
I can see why.
Yeah, I can see why. But something to note that Rakan has been left up. So Rakan Xayah could be available with Morgana off the table. That's a pretty powerful lane. Could take something like the Braum or the Alice, but instead, Hovering, you go for the Braum. So denying that Morgana means you're going to have the utility from that champion, and it means the Braum Sejuani combo can't go over to MISFITS. We saw how powerful that was in the skirmishes. Both of them have passives that just provide that great CC. So hard to deal with.
And actually, this is a double whammy. I haven't seen much of Quickset Braum over the course of the 4 champions, or in the EU Masters either, but it denies it from Prosfair, which Braum has undoubtedly been Prosfair's most picked support champion across 4 champions. So it does deny that away from Prosfair, and if there is one, in inverted commas, weak link on the MISFITS lineup, it probably is Prosfair from a mechanical standpoint compared to the rest of the team.
Yeah, he's definitely someone who provides more than his weight in shot calling, but in terms of mechanical, he's not the strongest, especially when there's the likes of Special on the roster. The thing is, though, for Quickset, it means that he's playing something that isn't massively aggressive, which you know he's comfortable on, and in return, we're talking about it, Prosfair has locked in the Pike, so he's wanting to show that he actually can put some work in. A very high skill cap champion who has a lot of potential to pop off. Will he this game?
That is a cojones pick,
Yeah,
here
he sort of
for
laughed because he locked in. He was like, give me the Pike, we're 1-0 up, confidence pick. does mean that Venza's going to get his hands on that Kai'Sa once again. I don't think the composition's going to be quite the same as last time. I don't think you can afford
But I do like Kai'Sa for Venza. Yeah. I think it is a solid pick for him.
It has been his most picked champion in the 4G Champions.
Yeah.
So something that he knows he can consistently provide that damage. Yes, it's a bit weaker in the early game than other picks, but once you get to late game, it's really hard to deal with. I just want to see Excel secure some other options on their team, so he's not the only damage threat.
Going to give Taxa the Trundle again. We've talked about this time and time again. Trundle just considered a pick into Sejuani because it just steals those stats.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing, is Misfits can now pick themselves up a powerful mid or top pick and then ban away counters. If they're feeling confident, there's a lot of options. Question is, what will they go for?
Just slam it. Just, you know, just slam a very powerful pick for special because he knows he'll outclass Rippy. Like, he just knows that, right?
I feel like you had the option of, for example, taking a Gnar there and then banning away champions who didn't want to deal with it. But they do end up going for the Justar in the end, giving a solid pick to Chrisberg. Offers a lot of safety because obviously with Pyke, you don't have the most peel. But also, if you do get jumped on by that Kai'Sa, you have your Buster Shot. You have the tools to deal with the Kai'Sa. But will he be able to do as well as he did last game on Navarra?
It scales nicely, though, as well. You know, you can match, and the range mismatch as well, even in the late game, is going to be an issue for Kai'Sa if she gets stuck in no man's land. Gnar band, undoubtedly the LeBlanc band coming through as well here, but the Gnar band specifically because Sendo known for his Gnar play. Like, the Gnar and Urgot was like Sendo's 1-2 carry top laners.
It suggests to me as well that Shikari's going to pick a tank up here. I feel like XL might have to ban away Poppy, because that is a very safe staple tank pick. And I think that's the direction Misfits will go. They'll pick a safe tank in the first rotation, and in the second rotation, they'll pick a counter pick for special, and he's going to facilitate the early to mid game so Chrisberg can once again get powerful and take over the game.
Feel like Poppy, if it doesn't get banned here, is going to be the instant pickup for Misfits because, like you said, it even counters some of those matchups that are very, very good. And Camille still open, by the way, for XL. And Sendo known for his Camille play also. And Poppy also a great pick in that situation.
Yeah, so it does get banned away. Smart moves. And then it's on to Misfits. What do they want to take in the top lane? It's like they might just go for the safe Cho'Gath. Not too much of a surprise. It did fine. In the, it wasn't actually them, it was Sender who was on in the last game. But again, it's just a fine tank. And the thing is, there's no Scion for Sender to pick up. I would like to see him something that can punish that split push. Because I feel like you're not going to win the mid lane when Special's so strong and he has a counter pick. You need another win condition on this lineup.
Yeah, I think you go for a big split push that can punish the Cho'Gath. Sendo known for his Camille. We talked about it a couple of times over the course. Look, I'll be honest. I think Ornn provides a good, solid form of engage with the Braum on your side, so you can look to be more aggressive with the Venza pick. But this is just another. It feels like it's just going to be another Venza composition.
Yeah, I mean, what do you pick here for Rippy?
Galio?
If it's in a blind, like Galio feels like you lack a lot of damage. I mean, Victor would be a better pick because that provides you some other damage aspects. But you've just blind picked Victor into special.
Yes.
It's like if you can get this team to late game, sure, you have another damage threat from Quickset. The Ornn engage is great and there's no Braun to stop it, but you've just blind picked Victor into special. There is no way he doesn't pick something to punish that. The question is, what will he take?
He's got options. We saw him hovering Zed earlier. He can look to have a very aggressive pick in that mid lane. What would you be picking in this situation?
Yeah, I'm going to say Yasuo. Oh, look, they picked Yasuo. I'm so smart.
You're so clever. It is going to be Yasuo for special here. And that is, again, another gauntlet thrown down for Rippy. I mean, I think even from a confidence perspective now versus special, he's going to be on the sort of down.
I mean, two of the massive things with a Yasuo is you have the Sejuani in the jungle. If Afflict comes up to mid lane, you can just engage on the Victor, and you will start applying passives off for the Sejuani's Permafrost, and that can be enough to punish Rippy. Rippy's taking Exhaust as well, means he doesn't have the cleanse, and a mobile mid lane mage, very vulnerable if he gets punished. I feel like Misfit's going to look to take over that. And another factor as well is that Wind Wall is available for Yasuo. The one thing that is really strong on Victor is a wave clear. You put the laser down, can blow up all the minions. That is not going to be possible if Special gets up in your face and blocks it. I feel like Rippy's going to have to play this game excellently if he wants to get to the late game. And we didn't see that in the last time round.
That is the big gauntlet that has been thrown down, and especially by this Misfits draft. This is now a Rippy game for XL. Forget Venza, we know that he performs on the Kai'Sa. This is a Rippy game for XL. He needs to have an excellent performance against an arguably much better mid laner in the form of Special. You know, from just what we've seen so far and what Special has in terms of accolades to his name. this is a tough game for Excel. They are going to have to dig deep if they want to come away with a win here. Orcs, let's talk win conditions. It changes slightly with the addition of Victor for Excel's classic win condition, but what do you make of these two teams?
I think if Excel gets a late game that can play a front-to-back team fight, they're going to be in a great position. I think, however, if a lead comes out on the Yasuo, I think the game's just going to be so hard to deal with. Yasuo's going to be such a problem. His wind wall as well, that's a big thing, as obviously Yasuo as a champ is strong, but his wind wall shuts down so much of what Excel want to do. It can block the Ornn engage, it can block a lot of the damage from the Victor and the Kai'Sa. I think, honestly, Excel have got a long time to wait if they fall behind hard in the early game.
And the fact that the Yasuo is there means Venza can't do classic Venza dive to the backlines anymore, because if he gets knocked up, he's instantly dead, or at least going to be pressured very hard in that backline fight.
I think the one thing is, if this does go to super late game, and you're able to stack a lot of armor on the side of Excel, a Victor and the Kai'Sa will be massive carries, and I think they will just be able to shred through the front line of... the thing is, if you have Yasuo trying to shred through the front line, he's vulnerable to CC, whereas Victor and the Kai'Sa will free hit. So I think if Excel gets to the very late game, they will end up winning out in team fights, because especially since there's no TP on Yasuo, so you can't necessarily split push. However, I think the early pressure has to go to Misfits, and it's not like they scale badly.
So give me Misfits win conditions in a nutshell then. We talked a little bit about them, but let's
kill Victor.
Kill Victor?
Kill Victor. Kill Victor, get Yasuo fed. And it's so easy because all you have to do is have a flick in the brush nearby. You get Yasuo to dash in. As soon as you start auto-attacking, that's one stack. Q, that's another stack. You then put the last auto in. Now Victor's going to get stunned from the Sejuani. You can't even flash away from it because she can just follow. It's so hard when you have no cleanse and you're on a mobile mage. Rippy's going to have to play this one out of his mind if he's going to survive the early and mid game.
And this is it. This is the moment that Excel need to perform. We're heading into the second game of this semi-final. If Excel lose here, we'll have a Misfits Diabolus final confirmed. And if Misfits win, they'll be looking to find their place back in the EU Masters. Orcs, we're going to start this off, and you can see very cautious start from both these teams.
Yeah, understandably. And it does seem that Rippy has stuck with the exhaust throughout that. And again, it's something you understand because it's going to help in the 1v1 against Special, but League of Legends is not a 1v1 game. And if a flick comes down, it's going to be a problem.
We have Celtic's Tiger standing by with, I believe, Ferndog to talk about last game.
Hey, and, you know, I've been really looking forward to these games, and I think, Fern, you had such a good draft in game one. What do you think went wrong for you guys?
I think we were really angsty in the early game. I think we made some kind of decisions that we wouldn't have made if it was practice, so like stage jitters maybe, but I think we were just really like forceful and trying to super hard win when we didn't need to, because we were just slowly winning anyway, and we just took too many risks. And once they get map control, LeBlanc just has free roam of the side lane and kind of does what she wants.
Yeah, so now going into game two, you actually got a comp that's relatively similar. What do you think has been fixed though, aside from that, looking at this game?
I don't think composition was like a problem in game one, and I don't think it is here. I think we've got all the tools to win the game, but I think it's going to be, we just need to calm down in the early game, make sure that we're actually not making those situations where they do get massive river control because of the early game, and then we'll be in a good situation to hit 2 items on our carries and win the game.
Well, thank you very much, Ferndog, for having this interview. Send it back over to the casters to take it away.
And I think the specific situation that Ferndog was referring to was the Ocean Dragon.
I think that's a situation I would refer to as a bit of a oopsie daisy, maybe a bit of stage jitters, but regardless, not the best play for XL, and now looking to redeem themselves in this game too. So far things been pretty calm, but I'm looking at that mid lane. When a flick comes over, it does actually have his blue stolen away. It was something that got done while we were watching the interview. Taxa moved in with Venz and Quickset, stole the blue and the Gromp. So a slight little lead coming out there. Not the end all and be all this matchup, and Shikari actually doing pretty well into Sendo in this matchup, chunking him down heavily, and that's one of the big things, is that there's so much more sustain on the Cho'Gath within his passive.
Yeah, and Sendo needs to be super careful here actually. Shikari looks like he's going in. Sendo going to try and trade backwards, does, but Shikari right now is the one that is taking these trades in favor. Although the wave is pushing towards Sendo, and he does have the Biscuit as well as a couple of stacks of Corrupting Potion ready to go as well.
Yeah, so we'll be able to sustain up with that, but starting to struggle in this tank vs tank matchup, not going to be the biggest deal. It's not like a Cho'Gath's going to take over the game just from getting a lead of 10 CS in the early levels, but it's still not what you want to see. Sendo, someone who's brought in with a lot of hype into this XL roster, hasn't always delivered, looking shaky in this series.
Afflict now going to match up versus Taxa, has to be super careful here as Taxa dodges out. Taxa will just end up backing off. I don't think either of
Takes a big
those...
bite of him.
Yeah, I think the wave right now is not in a great position for Rippy and for XL in general.
Yeah, and I think Special being low on HP means he's going to take the opportunity to recall. Picks up a Doran's Blade and a refillable, looking for that extra sustain in the matchup. He knows the early levels are where there is an advantage to Victor. He has that range lead, but once level 6 is available for Special and potentially a Flick 2, that is when they can punish this mobile mid laner and they can really just take over the matchup.
I wonder if they're going to donate that first blue buff over to Rippy, or you're just going to give it over to Tax to get an experience advantage. Because he still has his red buff up on the map as well. I mean, he has really limited Flick's gold and experience income in this early game.
Yeah, which is an important thing to do. You want to try and just get a moderate lead on this Trundle because pre-6, he is more effective than the Sejuani, does have faster clear. Whereas obviously Sejuani, once she has her ultimate, that's a really high impact ability you have to be cautious of.
Sendo now.
This way top, he knows the wave's pushing in, so Sendo just dashes in.
Oh, he dashes in, and this now might be an opportunity to go in onto Sendo. He has to be super careful. I think he's just accepting his fate at this point in time. Sendo not going to try and burn anything in this situation. No point burning your flash. First blood over to Afflict. And I think Sendo just realized.
Yeah, I think he realized he was dead. There was no being careful out of that one. Does end up falling and giving up the kill. The wave's in a really good position for Shikari as well. Has it frozen pushing against him. Looks like Sendo going to TP back in, but respectfully TP's to the tower, aware Afflict could be waiting for him again. Again, First Blood given Ulda, and this is something we didn't want to see from Sendo, who's been struggling a bit in the UK scene. We'll have a bit of replay. There's not much to see, but it's just overconfidence when he uses his dash in like that. He doesn't have an escape anymore, and as soon as that happened, Afflict knew that was a trigger to go. Sendo is definitely dead, and it's just easy pickings from there.
I think he was greedily trying to clear the wave, and then just wanted to back off after clearing that wave. But
it's so you always stay 1 second too much. You're like, oh, I was going to back off after that wave. Well, you should have backed off before it. Unlucky, buddy.
Prosper and Chrisberg have the HP advantage right now, and Prosper looking for the pull onto Quickseth, but they aren't going to commit too hard here. The explosive shot does get used, but at this point in time, it's just that, again, you always have to be careful as Kaisar in these lane matchups.
Yeah, have to be a bit cautious. If Kaisa gets pulled in, that's where the threat really is, because Chrisberg can jump in. But otherwise, you're not going to do that much to punish.
Oh, Shikari, though. He has to be careful. He took a huge amount of damage. Venza now, a lot of damage there. Brilliant Unbreakable, but it is double Summoner's Burn. They actually get a huge damage. Huge damage onto Quickseth, and suddenly now Taxa's down in the bot lane. Prosper has got his flash available.
What a pillar.
But that was a brilliant
he's invincible. They don't know where he is.
Oh, he's going to go into Venza. He gets the stun on Venza, and he gets the kill. And now Taxa looking to punish Prosper. He has got that shielded health available, but will end up going down. And now Afflict is going to back off. What
a play from Prosper. Oh, could be a bit more, but Flick does manage to get out. And they just didn't expect him to be there and then go aggressive with Venza. They thought on that HP, he's just going to try and escape. That looked honestly unfavorable for XL, I mean for Misfits, but managed to turn around slightly, but still, 2 kills going over to the blue side.
Absolutely. Let's have a look now. There was a massive CS advantage that had opened up early on in the mid lane, but Special seems to have clawed that one back when Rippy ended up backing off the base. Rippy's actually been, I'd say Rippy's been pretty good. Let's have a look at this replay though.
Yeah, so Prosper manages to walk up, and Venza actually has to flash early to avoid the stun, and that's when they want to go aggressive, but Quickseth still has his Unbreakable. Chrisberg ends up taking a tower hit. So much damage comes back down. Great play on that side. Actually seeing Sendo. Oh! So close to get the solo kill, but now he walks here, and then Quickseth just walks past him, doesn't see him because of the brush, and then expects him to be running away. Prospect goes for the big play, manages to take out Venza, but then does end up trading his life, having used all of his mobility there. Yeah, they do burn the flash out of Afflict as well, so Afflict also ends up losing that. Taxa burns his flash there as well. I think maybe a little bit needlessly, a little bit over-aggressive, but now Venza returns back to lane. You can see now post-level 6 for Special. You talked about Afflict wanting to put pressure on this mid lane, and immediately as he is 6, he is there waiting in the side. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. You can just sit in the brush and wait for Special to go in, and as soon as he starts to apply stacks of your passive, Rippy's dead. I feel like you just have to be there in case something happens, and Special will be able to take control of this matchup. Oh, I think the Braum stand behind me. Armor buff just burnt out there as Venza looks to go aggressive onto Chrisberg. They do get a good amount of trading damage. As you know, you have to kind of go all in as a Pyke. You can't read. You're not really one of those. Yeah, you don't have much peel.
You don't have much peel. You're not one of those trading supports. As Prosper looks to be aggressive, the Unbreakable is a great Unbreakable onto Quickseth. He'll take a lot of damage from this explosive shot, but should be okay nonetheless. There's the engage into the mid lane, but Taxa is ready, but not enough. And then is going to be Rippy going down, and now Special looking to continuously be aggressive here. Taxa had just previously burnt his flash. but the ultimate will keep him safe.
And that's the problem. If you get locked up as Rippy, didn't even get to use a flash because of CC chain, and Crispy got aggressive, but good unbreakable blocks.
Oh, wait a second, they're going in here. That's the execute. They did not expect Prosfair to come in with that, and that's a double kill for Pyke. Yeah, I mean, was he 5 when that engage started, or was he 6?
I wasn't entirely sure. I believe we will see on the replay, but great plays coming out from Misfits across the board, and this is exactly what they needed to snowball their composition into a strong mid-game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Excel, the shaky early game nerves don't seem to be out of their system just yet. And you talked about that mid-lane duo combo post-level 6 with the Yasuo. It happened exactly as you said. But that bot lane, I mean, if Prosfair was 6, that was a ridiculous re-engage for Venza and Crixeth.
Yeah, I think just a bit over-aggressive. Saw the low health bar of Crispig and thought that they could punish. And in the end, great to turn it around from Prosper. And that's the power of the Pyke. If you manage to burst someone down low enough, you have that execute. As soon as it resets, you're so confident in the 2v2.
Stormrazor versus a couple of longswords.
Who are you betting on?
Probably the Stormrazor.
I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a smart bet.
Sendu, though, has been doing okay. Let's have a look at this bot lane.
So
no,
yeah, Prospect,
he got 6 in the brush.
6 in the brush.
Yeah.
You see that though, so they're aware he's level 6. And with those low health bars, they still want to go aggressive. And this is the thing, Crispig, good unbreakable, but there's no reason to re-engage here. You know Prospect has the ult, gets the 1 kill, and then there's no damage from Chris set to come out and reset. And the thing is, although Prospect gets both these kills, the gold goes over to Crispig, so it's huge for him. Massive spike, and that's why he's able to get that Stormrazor so early. Yeah,
I'm not so sure about that re-engage in Excel. They saw that Prosper was 6. Maybe they just didn't quite see it on the screens. Quixer jumps in. Here's the wow, big engage coming through from Misfits. I don't know if they want to commit to this as Shikari comes down. Special making his way over as well. Taxa now on the wrong side of the fight as they get a lock up onto Quixer. That's 1 kill right now as the jump comes over for Chrisberg, but that is not going to be enough to finish this engage up, and now Misfits are backing off. Can they get anything from this 1 kill, though? Because that was a decent disengage from Excel.
Ooh, gets the pull, but the stun doesn't land onto Rippy. They managed to get a kill, punish Excel for their over-aggression. In the end, it's just another favorable trade up for Misfits.
The kill went over to... Was that Prosfair again?
I think it was Crispig? Because he was 0-1-3 before.
Okay, so Crispig picks up the kills from another good amount of gold going on to the carry that matters the most to Sejuani.
Yeah.
Sejuani waits in the wings here as they've just cleared out that vision.
They're waiting for them to go aggressive. They are in so much trouble right now.
Oh my word, they have to be so careful. You've just seen them on this bottom side of the map, guys. You have to be so careful. There is the bait queue onto Prosfair. Still waiting around right now, Afflict. But
I think you just go for this.
Surely you just go for this.
Oh, Special's coming down.
Crispig baiting this in, actually. I think they know. They know. They absolutely know. As Venza actually has to flash out of the way. Here comes the teleport coming in from Sendu. Now Prosper is the one that is backing out. Can Sendu find disengage as he uses the ultimate on to Prosper? Surely Prosper will be the sacrificial lamb here. He is, but it is a 3 versus 3 still. A Special is coming in. A big ultimate engage as a nice disengage with the Braum ultimate comes through. They're going in onto Venza. Venza ends up going down. There's the resets. Trying to get the knock, and to Quixeth. He will end up going down as well, and Misfits finally get a massive cleanup in this bot lane as Sendo's teleport will just feed another kill over to the Misfits roster, and they get a 3-for-1 trade.
And Special was able to move down first. He gets there in time. It's great execution. We start to see that play once again here. Prosper goes aggressive. It's a good TP to come in from Sendo, but they're not aware Afflict is in the wings, and they end up going too aggressive. They feel like they have the advantage, but look where Rippy is on the minimap. He's taking blue buff. Special is walking over. Yes, they shut down Prosper, but at what cost? Sejuani and Yasuo are so strong in these skirmishes. You can see, even though the CC doesn't land on Venza instantly, as soon as Yasuo starts auto-attacking Venza, it builds up the stacks, stun comes in, and the damage is there. And the thing is, Crispy can freely auto, and then use his rocket jump just to secure all these kills.
The wind wall as well meant that Venza, if he wanted to be getting kills in that fight, could not move to his own brush in that bot lane. The wind wall blocked off his ability to be able to kite backwards and actually deal damage there as well.
Yeah, and it's why Yasuo is such a great pick in this situation, because it completely shuts down what XL want to do. And now they're looking at a 3k gold deficit. This Justana is so strong. Yasuo is going to be close to his first item, which is a big spike for him. XL, we said that they do have strengths in late game, but they're going to have to be looking there if they're going to bring it back in this game too.
Taxa and Rippy just not aware of that rotation taking place. The vision for Excel not in the right place as this bot lane is getting heavily focused as Taxa has made his way down now, but too little too late, I feel, in terms of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is that there's so much safety between a Tristana and a Pyke. They both have dashes that you can use to get away. And what are you going to force on them with? Braum's engage isn't that good. He's better at follow-up. And it's the same with the Trundle. Unless Crispig and Prosper just go stupidly aggressive, which they haven't so far, you're not going to be able to find anything here. And looks like they're just going to go aggressive mid. I don't think there's any play-by-play needed for that.
Nope.
Rippy taken out again. Has exhaust, does use it, but that's not going to rival how useful a cleanse could be in this matchup. Gets locked up by the CC. Falls once again. Not a good situation. Again, I keep saying again. We talked about how Rippy need to make it to this late game on this Victor, and he really is struggling so far. Yeah,
he is getting a large Sejuani paw print on top of his head every time he steps out in that lane. He is absolutely getting hammered by Special and Afflict in the combos with their ultimates. And now Afflict's even going to go for the Rift Herald here as well, just to apply salt to the wounds of EXCEL.
I mean, it's something that isn't often talked about, but it's the power of Sejuani with a melee mid laner. We've seen it when Aurelia or Akali are big picks in the mid lane. As soon as they start applying auto attacks to the target, it also applies the stacks of the Sejuani passive. It's so hard to deal with, even if you're a mobile mid laner, let alone a mobile one. Steal Attempt comes in from Sendo, but not going to find it quite yet. Hotel gets picked up by Afflict, and he's just going to back off. In the meantime, EXCEL trying to punish Boff, but Special's here.
Oh, Taxa, a little bit overextended, forced to flash away. Suddenly this bot lane engage does not look like it's going in EXCEL's favor, as that is going to be Victor making his way down. Quickset finds the engage there, but taking a lot of damage. In goes Venza. That is maybe not the best area for you to be in, but the Victor support will be enough to allow him to get a couple of kills. Rippy picks up one, and now EXCEL might be able to get this tier 1 tower.
And for the first time, they go for a play when they have Rippy moving down. He provides the cover, and they're actually able to turn the fight around, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get much off this. The wave is cleared up thanks to support from Afflict, but they needed to get those kills if they're going to have any chance at staying in this series.
Yeah, that was sort of like a grim lifeline offered to them right there. They needed to take it. If they'd lost that, it probably would have been curtains for EXCEL's chances of getting to the EU Master spot and winning the Forger Finals. The Forger Finals? The Forger Champions?
Finals, the Finals, Forger Champion Finals, Champions, Forger Finals.
Exactly, that thing. Let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, so you see Taxis seems to be caught out. Good flash buys him some time, and now Special goes aggressive, but has to build up the stacks in his tornado, and then fatally ends up missing the last one. Quickset looks to provide some CC in return, but it ends up putting so much confidence in the Misfits. They go too far aggressive, and Rippy finally is there to turn up and clean up some kills. Kill goes to Venza, kill goes to Rippy. Definitely the target you want it on.
Oh,
but Rippy might get punished here.
Rippy, actually really good flash from Rippy there. Gets pulled back in. That's a massive engage. Brilliant from Prosper. And Rippy's going to give up his life. Brilliant flash, but brilliant Prosper.
And this is the problem with playing this mobile mage. Even when the Sejuani ult misses, it doesn't matter. The CC was there to get the knock up. Once Yasuo got on top of you, there's just nothing you can do.
I've got to look back towards this draft. I mean, you had an opportunity to get a counter pick in the top lane. You didn't take that. And then you put a blind Victor in the mid lane. That's Special.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are picks that are better equipped to deal with Special's champion pool. I think if you put Rippy on something like a Lulu, and they end up picking Yasuo, you can deal with the Yasuo, you have the CC, but I think when you're just playing up against this Yasuo as a Victor and the Sejuani, it's such a bad position to be in.
Have a look here. Sendo gets taken very, very low. He might be in range. Yeah, he's in range of that Cho'Gath ultimate. It's a solo kill from Shikari. And suddenly, EXCEL are teetering out of control.
That's the way we talked about how Special should be punished in this mid lane with the help of Afflict, but that should not be happening. You should not be dying 1v1 in a tank top lane matchup, and it's just testament to the problems EXCEL is having at the moment.
That is an engage, forcing the flash out of Afflict. That's Sendo going in. Now Quickset looking to try and get the jump on him. That's a nice, dive in by Venza. He should pick up the kill, the shutdown onto Sejuani, and this is something that EXCEL did in the previous game to give them a lifeline. Venza's aggressive maneuvers, picking people out when they're out of position.
Problem is now, there is no Baron on the table, which means Special is able to go where he pleases. Under normal circumstances, if you go bot lane, the other team can pressure that. However, when it's off the cards, Special's going to be able to freely split push, and he's going to take that bot tower essentially for free here. And actually, Prosper and Crispig wait in the wings. They want to punish anyone who comes to take this red buff. The thing is, with their mobility, they can afford to be this aggressive. It's unlikely they'll get punished for this.
Yeah, they have bot lane dominance right now, and that's going to deny the red buff from Venza specifically too. Special just waiting waiting and waiting, trying
let as many minions die as he can.
Exactly.
Smart move. Denying is because he knows this farm is exactly what the Victor and Kais need to be relevant in the late game. He's not giving it away for free.
And he's going to continue to move down towards Sendo here as Special has got those item spikes starting to build up. The Phantom Dancer looks to be working towards, I imagine, Infinity Edge?
Yeah, definitely Infinity Edge. And I mean, that's where he really is going to be hard to deal with, because right now you can see so much armor stacked up by XL. They know it's a full AD composition in terms of the damage coming out from Misfits. But once Special has that Infinity Edge, he gets the true damage from that. He has the true damage from his Conqueror. Armor doesn't really matter when you're putting out so much true damage.
Absolutely. You can see now Venza and Quickset heading towards this top lane, and you have to credit XL for continuing to be proactive despite the Misfits' dominance across the map. They are looking to take advantages where they can get them. This is a bit telegraphed from XL though, and Misfits are reacting.
Yeah, they're playing very aggressive. You can see Misfits are moving up. They understand Venza and Quickset would only play this aggressive if they had numbers waiting in the wings to try and turn things around. But the thing is, there's no tower to protect them. Prosphere might end up stepping up here, but he's so hard to pin down as his Pyke.
Maybe they're looking to catch out Special here. There are pings coming through as Special moves up. I
think he knows.
Does he? Does he?
He has the minion to dash through. If they try and pillar him, he is going to turn this around.
Oh, they're going to go in now. Venza looking to get onto Prospero as well. It's a nice pillar. There's the teleport coming through. Afflicted's on the sidelines. Venza right now is not being touched. He misses out on the ultimate from the Yasuo, but there is a knock-up. A massive, massive knock-up onto the entire XL roster, and Misfits are on clean-up duty. They should have janitor jobs because they have absolutely swept XL off the map.
And Baron, having just spawned at 20 minutes, they're going to turn straight towards this, looking devastating for the XL side. Triple kill for Prospero on this Pyke. We talked about before this game, maybe not the most mechanically gifted player on Misfits' team. He is definitely proven us wrong now.
He has been a monster on this Pyke, and Misfits right now look like they are booking their place in not only the finals, but potentially a massive contest for that EU Master spot versus Diabolus. XL have got a 10k gold lead to come back from. Misfits knew this was happening. Prospero was in the rings. Let's have a look at this.
Yes, it's so hard to pin down Special. Venza actually had to dash in, and then it's just, they don't instantly use the ult. They wait for the knock-up from Shikari till it lands on Venza, and then so much AoE damage comes in. The Yasuo ult last breath into the silence from Shikari, and then the follow-up with the Pyke ult. It's just so much damage, and once again, Venza is trying to do as much as he can to carry his team, but when you are the primary carry and trying to pull so much weight, all Misfits have to do is shut you down, and it feels like the game is theirs.
Yeah, XL have just not looked good in this series at all, and Misfits, despite changing their mid laner, arguably people said a change in playstyle, whether you consider it an upgrade or not from Lida, is a different story. Lida has a very unique playstyle that demands a certain style of play, but Special right now playing very much like Lida. You know, these aggressive solo 1v1 champions.
I feel like Special is a lot more calculated than Lida. Lida has a lot of raw aggression, and it's sometimes just hard for anyone to stand up to. But I feel like Special is a very calculated player, and you've seen that come out from him. He gets slight advantages, and then he pushes the lead with it. He understands his limits in the game, and that's why, I mean, it almost looks like his KD. If you, last game on the LeBlanc, he just seemed like he was untouched for a lot of it. Again, in the Yasuo, 3-1-7, so hard to deal with. And Misfits, they just look like a well-oiled team with the same roster who won last split.
Yeah, and they honestly, they play the map so well as well. Like we said, they're playing XL like puppets right now, pulling them left and right, the strings in each of the lanes being tugged at by the individual players like Shikari and Special. And XL just look lost.
Yeah, and it's an 11k goal deficit. That's a massive one to overcome, and the Baron's still on Misfits, still being made use of. We talked about how XL had the potential to outscale if the Victor and the Kaiser got into the super late game point. I just realistically don't think that's going to happen now. Look at the level differences as well.
And the build for Rippy is he's going for the Lichbane build as well, and he's just so far behind.
Look, Special is level 15, Rippy is level 12.
Oh my goodness.
It's a monumental difference.
And then look at the AD level difference as well, as Special kind of getting locked up here. No one hard committing though as the ultimate does come through. Trying to get the kill onto him as he dives back into the back line. Won't get the kill onto Rippy, and they end up getting the kill onto him. But there was a 4-man commit. They're just going to lose their mid lane inhibitor surely here.
I think it's the right move though. You were always going to lose something.
Yeah.
I think you have to try and punish someone. They do end up punishing Special, and looks like they might try and move to recover more here, but in the end, Misfits pushing the goal even further, pick up 2 towers. But now is the opportunity to fight when Special is dead.
Sendu goes in. It's right now Venza in the front line. He's not quite getting the damage done that he wants to. He's not at that late game stage right now as Rippy churning those death rays, gets the shutdown onto Shikari. They do land, but aren't going to commit any further than this. That was a good move from EXCEL.
Yeah, I mean, they took out Special, they then took the opportunity to win a 5v4. That was your one window to get back in the game. Do I think that's turned it around? Not entirely, not even slightly, but it's bought some time while Misfits had the Baron buff. You've given yourself some breathing space. The question is it enough? Probably
well, they need to do that like 5 or 6 more times.
5 or 6 more times, so just repeat that a few more times. But a big thing is the fact that it does close the level difference. When you shut down someone like Special, who's level 15, gives a lot of experience over the side of EXCEL, and they need to close that gap. Again, their champions are excellent in the late game. You definitely want to have a Kai'Sa and a Victor if this game goes to, you know, 30-40 minutes. The problem is, right now, this doesn't look like a game that's going to go to 30-40 minutes. And we'll see, once again, Misfits trying to go aggressive to the bot side. Just looking to clear out this vision and see what they can find. Support and Special this time, who once again wants to split push.
Special just drawing the attention. They're trying to do exactly the same thing they did previously. They make EXCEL make mistakes like Sendo is right here. He face checks right into the middle of the Misfits roster and he is just dead. Chrisberg picks up the kill. That is rookie. That is a rookie mistake from Sendo.
I mean, why do you need to walk that far ahead of the lane? There's just no reason to intercept it that early. And Flitz actually does make a bit of a rookie overstep. Does get punished and burn his flash, but at the end of the day, it's not significant. Chrisberg so confident he's going to walk up with Shikari and just take this inhibitor mid. EXCEL unable to stop him. And the base starting to get broken for EXCEL.
They push in onto Quickside. Quickside immediately goes down as that's a Chrisberg rampage. Wait, Venza trades one back here as Special goes back to the front line. Venza's not currently being targeted as Rippy is the one that takes all the damage. I think Venza right here, he's trying to get the kill. He gets the kill onto Chrisberg and it is a massive trade for EXCEL. The shutdowns come through and it is going to be a 2 versus 2 as Sendu comes back into the fray. Shikari and Special, I think they know that they've done all that they can in this situation. But again, lifelines and rifts and whatever being thrown towards EXCEL.
Oh, what a play from Venza. So aggressive. And then it was just a tornado from Special on the back end. Locked him down enough to fall. But that is definitely a favorable trade for EXCEL. You managed to stop the Baron push. You managed to get some shutdown gold and save your base. They're still bleeding. They're still 11k down. But they're not out yet.
3 items finished onto Kai'Sa. He is now only half an item behind Chrisberg, although arguably Chrisberg's item build is more expensive. But regardless, in terms of actual items finished, he is only half an item behind Chrisberg now.
Yeah, and we will get another look at that. So Sendo just going over aggressive. It's again, why do you need to intercept the Yasuo here when you don't have vision? Easy pick off the Misfits, and that's what starts off this aggressive push. For EXCEL showing they still have some life. They want to force Afflict back, and that's why Chrisberg decides instead he'll just go towards the mid lane. But then a bit of over-aggression here coming out from Misfits. Quickseth steps up to forwards, and the thing is, against a Cho'Gath, you can just get eaten, taken out, but Venza, he is the one to watch in this team fight. Dodges away from so much CC, the flash from Prosper doesn't get hit by the ult, and manages to kite out, and then it's this opportunity, when Chrisberg jumps in, he follows up from Prosper, tries to find some space under that tower, does actually get hit by, oh!
He autos the tower!
Yeah, I think that was just a mistake, because Venza wasn't even invisible there, he just completely made a mistake there. Chrisberg, a massive whoopsie daisy. Potentially could have won the game there.
A single auto from winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, I beg the question, should Venza not have flashed the tornado? But that's like that would have been a really high level play to make. Chrisberg just made a big misplay. I mean, it's not going to punish them too hard. They are still in control. Baron spawning soon. But it shows that there is a bit of diciness in the hands of Chrisberg. Venza still performing well, even if he isn't able to carry this team right at this point, but they're looking to contest this Baron.
EXCEL feel like they need to contest. Taxa immediately goes very low. He's immediately taken down, and I think EXCEL are just out of this fight already. That was way too separated. And Misfits. Venza, wait a second. Venza jumping in. Suddenly Chrisberg looking to punish as the knockup comes through. That is an overextension from Chrisberg, but not enough because he's unpunished for it. And I think this should just be end of the game. I think Baron goes down and Misfits win.
Yeah, I think that's some good analysis. I am going to agree with you. I feel like, you know, a quite weak Victor and an Ornn aren't really going to do much to stand up against this. And Chrisberg is so strong, he's going to push down on this and look to end the game. And
Misfits push in. They're taking the first Nexus turret. They're looking to take the second. Nothing EXCEL can do to stop them as Chrisberg takes another head for his belt. and that is going to be Misfits finding themselves in the finals of the Forge of Champions alongside Diabolus.
Misfits with Diabolus will be our finals. Teams who have flown under the radar for a lot of the split. They looked underwhelming, they had issues, but they bounced back. Both of them delivering decisive 2-0s and have made their way to our grand finals, where they will play for an EU Masters spot in the group stages to represent the UK as a #1 seed.
Yeah, heartbreak for EXCEL as well, given that they had that EU Masters spot and were probably the best performing UK team of the lot at the EU Masters, but they will not find another one this season round. It is going to be between Misfits and Diabolus. Let's praise Misfits though, because that was some clean League of Legends.
Big thing to talk about is there is potential for us to have a back-to-back UK champion. Shikari, the top laner for Misfits, won 2 splits ago on EXCEL, then moved to Misfits and won with them. If he wins tomorrow, 3-time champion of the UK. I mean, that would be an amazing performance.
Yeah, Shikari, definitely one of those players that kind of goes understated, but he's just a very, very, very good tank player.
He solo killed Sendo.
Yes, on
So
Shogun.
this is his replacement on his old team, and he solo killed him in a tank vs tank matchup. And a big thing in that top lane fight, he got a big 3-man knockup. So you saw Venza dodging all those skill shots, gets hit by the Rupture from the Cho'Gath. That leads to these 2 ult. I mean, yes, he's not the flashiest player, especially compared to, the top laners we have like Rift and Flaxdish, but he does his job and he does it well.
I've got to be honest, something that I noticed throughout the games, a lot of his ruptures were good.
Yeah.
Like, just consistently good.
You think Cho'Gath is like, oh, it's a low skill champion, it's just like I eat people and whatever, but I think that's what makes it difficult, is it's hard to play at a high level when you have so few tools. When you're up against a Kai'Sa who's so mobile and can dash about, it's hard to find impact in team fights, and yet he did. And I think that's why it wasn't so much Misfits had one player who hard carried them, like we saw when they last played EXCEL with Leader. I think that was them being a better team, and they came together well and just showed today they were the better roster.
So, we have an MVP in Twitch chat poll for you. I think it's either between Prosfair or Chrisberg. Which I personally think it was special, but or even Shikari. But that is the 2 members that have been thrown into the ballot for you, Prosfair or Chrisberg, for the MVP of that series. You can vote in Twitch chat right now. However, let's just sort of talk about the grand scheme of things now. Like, EXCEL had their issues. They definitely looked weak in the mid lane. I can't really sugarcoat that one. I think maybe it was because Special looked so good, but regardless, they have issues that I think they need to go and reflect on. Misfits looked brilliant, though.
Yeah, I think Misfits were just a better team. I think, yes, I don't think anyone would disagree that Special is a stronger mid lane than Rippy, but game 1, I think you put anyone into 2-0 down against, even put Caps in that matchup, Lulu into a 2-0 LeBlanc, you're going to have a bad time. And then I think that game 2, he was just put in such a difficult matchup. I think the draft wasn't the smartest decision. I think Venza played excellent. I think he really looked like a shining star. And even Tax in that game 2 had a great early game, but it just wasn't enough. And it felt like, although there were some highlight plays from EXCEL, the better team was definitely Misfits, and it shows in the results.
Yeah, I think I give credit to Venza where it's due. He had some solo plays that kept EXCEL in the game by himself, as you would expect, because Venza has been the carry for EXCEL for quite a considerable period of time. But Misfits overall, I mean, their map play was good. Special's decision making was brilliant. The decision making as a team was fantastic. Their team fighting was excellent. They look like a very well-oiled machine with very few weaknesses. The only things that you can potentially pick out for Misfits is some picks around the early mid-game where individual players were maybe out of position and EXCEL were trying to exploit that. But it didn't really result in tangible gains for EXCEL.
And I feel like that's going to happen. You're never going to have a flawless game. The big question for me, though, has to be in the top lane. It just felt like Sendo, he's someone he's had a pentakill in the 4G Champions. He's a big carry player, and for this series, he just felt underwhelming. His presence just wasn't really felt. And I think if there's any big underperformance from the EXCEL roster, it has to be him.
We have Hitbrain standing by, I believe, with Prosfair from Misfits, ready to give an interview. So we'll hand over to those guys who are on stage. Hitbrain, take it away.
Thank you very much, Xscoundrel. Hello, everybody, and well, congratulations, first of all, Prosfair, for winning the game. 2-0, pretty dominant. How do you feel about that, first of all?
I mean, I'm obviously pleased that we won. It means nothing till the finals, because obviously we won the EU Master spot. But, I'm glad that we're able to take out EXCEL. Like, they've been a strong org for a long time in the UK scene, and it's nice to beat them in total, especially considering the start of the split. It's nice to kind of have a bit of a redemption.
I mean, game 2. We know you as a bit more of kind of like a safe support. You whip out the pike, you get a triple kill, you really kind of just show off. I mean, what does that mean to you to come here onto the live finals, get that Pyke in the most important game before you go towards tomorrow. I mean, how does that feel, really, to kind of switch up your play style and catch them off guard there?
I mean, I've been really confident with my play recently, so I think I'm the best support playing, but it's not that I can't play aggressive supports. Like, I mean, on my past teams, I was known for stuff like Bard, but it's just that Braum and the more defensive stuff is meta, and I do have this reputation for playing safe, but I'm glad I kind of got the chance to prove that that's not all I can do, and that when I get the opportunity, I can kind of pop off on stuff like Pyke, so.
Good stuff. And I mean, tomorrow you're looking towards playing against Diabolus. Is that a surprise to you? Did you expect maybe to be seeing Enclave, seeming as they were, you know, the highest scoring team coming out of all the qualifying tournament? How do you feel about your chances versus Diabolus tomorrow? Do you think it's going to go all the way to 5, or are you feeling like it's going to be a bit more of a clean sweep?
I mean, I think Diabolus is very hard to read because we've had a very limited amount of games of this roster, and while they were performing badly earlier, it's kind of, you don't know how well they're going to do when they change up 2 players in their coach, because either it's going to have no effect and they're going to, you know, just be a dud and we play Enclave, or it's going to have really changed things up. And without playing them, it's hard to kind of gauge, did Enclave have a bad performance or did Diabolus play really well? But from watching the semis, all of the players had moments where I thought, like, yeah, he's good, like he did something impressive. So it should be a good best of 5 tomorrow, regardless of what the game count is. And
I mean, we've had a lot of spice here at the Forge Champions, a lot of Twitter beef and, you know, a little bit of spice. Have you got anything you want to say to Diabolus going into tomorrow? Any strong words? Maybe not too strong because we are still live.
I mean, it's hard because, as I said, it's a new roster, but just I'm confident that we'll win. I don't think there'll be a problem for us. I think we played fine today, but nothing like towards our top end. I think everyone made mistakes. We're nervous. We haven't played much with Special. We've still been scrimming with Leader, even after he couldn't play. So we have a very limited game count with Special, so I think we're just going to be ramping up as the best of 5 goes on. So I don't think they'll give us any problems.
Well, congratulations once again on your win, and good luck towards your game tomorrow. But we are going to go back to Scoundrel on the desk to round everything out.
Thank you very much, just like AG. I have magicked myself onto the desk with Tyke. Not that I'm 5 feet from where I was previously. We had an MVP vote, by the way. The MVP winner was our boy being interviewed, Prosfair. He won with 52% of the vote. So it was a close one, absolutely. But that is a good performance from Prosfair. I mean, that Pyke game specifically was fantastic.
I actually was previously noting the Braum play, because specifically shutting down the Benzer carry with some great unbreakables. Certainly that's kind of what the champion's designed to do, but it was really impressive that he was able to do that consistently and help his team win. Certainly in that game 1, a game that wasn't so clean, he managed to help them turn it around.
I think if you went back a month, Tyke, and I asked you, which 2 teams do you think you see in the final, you probably would have told me Enclave and Excel.
Yes.
Now we've got the exact opposite of that with Diabolus and Misfits.
Are they the exact opposite? Well,
you know, given the options that we had here at the Forge of Champions finals, and we have Diabolus versus Misfits, which is a massive shake-up, but I think even arguably looks like one of the better results.
Yes, I think that Enclave and Excel, you know, they had good performances previously, but certainly the new revitalized Misfits from Forge Champions 4 and the revitalized Diabolus just from the playoffs are now starting to show up, are now vying for that top spot, looking to get that group stages spot for EU Masters.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we saw an excellent set of games today, and I think, although there were 2-0s, they showed really good League of Legends from teams that we hadn't seen too much of previously, and then Misfits are continuing that train. Diabolus have reformed completely into a team that looks poised to potentially challenge for that final. Now, we're going to come back tomorrow, so we're going to be finished for today. That is it. That's all of the League of Legends you're going to see on the channel for this evening. But we'll be back tomorrow at 7 PM European time to kick off our best of 5 finals between our 2 teams. We do have Orcs on the side lanes trying to make us laugh, and he is almost succeeding. Almost succeeding. He is a boy. I do love that guy. Obviously, guys, if you want to be involved, you can go to our Twitter at MVP UK and use the hashtag Forge of Champions Finals. I want to hear your opinions. Were you surprised by today's results? Were you upset? Were you sort of wanting another team to win specifically? That is what I want to hear. So use the hashtag Forge of Champions Finals. Talk about the finals tomorrow. Talk about what you've seen today. I will personally read all of them. Every single tweet.
I actually might read a lot of them.
I will read all of your tweets.
I'm not busy. I'll read them.
We have YouTube as well. Believe it or not, LVP UK on YouTube. You can check out all of the VODs from our previous Forge of Champions tournaments, as well as all of the VODs from this finals if you do so happen to miss them, or you want to catch up on a specific game and look things over yourself. You can go to the YouTube and check that out. This has been a fantastic day of League of Legends here at the Forge of Champions Finals. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. The casting has been wonderful. The teams have been amazing. The players have done the UK proud. But tomorrow we will crown our winner. We will crown the Forge of Champions finalists. They will take the EU Masters spot as well as a huge sum of money. Don't go anywhere for a whole day, because tomorrow we're back at 7 PM to do our finals. See ya.